we dive into this, I want to drop the gauntlet real quick. It doesn't have to be a console wars, but I want your opinion. Do you think the PS5 or the Xbox Series X is the better next-gen console? Let me know in the comment section. Now, first-person shooters, I mean, come on. They're some of the most popular games in the world for a reason. They're exciting, they're engaging, they're cathartic, thanks to the intense skill often required in order to succeed. But what are the best of the best? Specifically, what should a PS5 owner be on the lookout when it comes to PS5 FPS games? Now, in this video, we're going to be checking out the 10 best first-person shooters currently playable on the PlayStation 5. So you let me know which of these is your favorite, drop a like, and let's kick things off with Destiny 2. It may not be the best time to talk about Destiny 2 because recently, most of the discourse surrounding this game has been entirely negative due to the most recent expansion, but the base experience of Destiny 2, it's excellent. It's worth pointing out on a list like this today. Originally, it was released in 2017 to very mixed bag reviews. Bungie's sci-fi shooter has gotten exponentially better over time and has remained one of the most popular FPS games in the world for the last few years for good reason. You venture across various planets, either solo or with friends. You take down hundreds of enemies, thousands, grind for better weapons and gear to make yourself the ultimate warrior. He was a wrestler, I think. The story has been pretty good for the most part, and there's lots to do. Maybe you're a fan of doing raids with your friends. Maybe you're a diehard PvP player. Maybe you're just a casual and just wants to run around and shoot some aliens kind of person. No matter what you want to do, Destiny 2, as you covered, it's completely free to play on the PlayStation 5 right now. Before we move on, guys, if you're looking for anything when it comes to games, codes, anything, check out g2a.com. The link is at the top of the description. Use code CHAOS for some cash back. Now, Resident Evil Village, and some of you are going to argue with me putting RE Village on the list, but I think it belongs here. It is a first-person game with a lot of shooting, and it's a really good game, so come on, let's give it some love. It was heavily inspired by the classic design of RE4, and it shows and it shines through. You venture through various open-ended levels, you try to find keys, survival items, collectibles, all while trying to keep your head attached to your shoulders by fighting off various monsters that jump out at you from every direction. Now, Resident Evil has been criticized in the past for being too action-oriented, which is why you don't hear much about RE5 or RE6, but I digress. I personally think RE Village managed to hit that perfect balance of action and horror and intensity. Certainly not the scariest game in the series, but it's extremely fun and the shooting actually feels really good. It makes me excited for the RE4 remake that's coming out later this year. At number 8, probably the newest game on this list, Atomic Heart. It's weird. It is. It's super weird. It dropped in February of 2023. Can best be described as an FPS game with RPG elements. Takes place in an alternate history version of the Soviet Union, kind of similar to what Wolfenstein did in the sense that it features a ton of historical weaponry mixed with some really crazy gadgets and abilities that you'd expect from some kind of wacky alternate history game. Plus, the soundtrack is by Mick Gordon, so you Doom and Wolfenstein The New Order fans, you're going to feel right at home. Although the gameplay, I'd say it's more like BioShock. Actually, yeah, it is, now that I think about it. Like I said, it's a very weird game, and it definitely tries to balance a ton of different ideas at the same time, but ultimately, I think it does good. I think it succeeds, and it's worth a look. If you're a fan of alternate history games or FPS games similar to BioShock, or maybe you just like Mick Gordon's sounds, Atomic Heart may be worth a shot to you. At number 7, Overwatch 2. Now, I know people like to hate this game, and most of the criticism, it's valid. I mean, it was completely unnecessary as a sequel. It was basically only released as a way to get people to stop talking about the things that Blizzard had been doing at that time, but when you strip all the drama away, what you're left with is a pretty solid hero shooter that's incredibly satisfying to play, and it's absolutely worth all the attention it's gotten over the years. Overwatch was the game that defined the hero shooter genre for the current gen, and Overwatch 2's core gameplay loop, it scratches that itch. It does. In fact, in many ways, it actually improves that itch upon the original game. Plus, it's free to play, risk-free. All the criticism that Blizzard has received regarding their handling of the Overwatch IP is 100% valid. But that doesn't need to take away from the fact the game itself is good. Certainly one of the best FPS games on the PS5 right now. And once again, it's free. At number 6, The Outer Worlds. Have you ever wanted to play Fallout New Vegas but with better shooting? Well, look no further than The Outer Worlds. Developed by Obsidian themselves, this FPS RPG is set in an alternate future that split off from our own in the year 1901. Now, much like New Vegas, there's a heavy emphasis on venturing around the world, learning about it at your own pace, letting the main conflict become clear with time, at which point you can decide how much you want to take part in it or not. The shooting feels great. Story's good. It's actually fascinating. And while the enemy variety may not be the best FPS genre has to offer, I think that's excusable considering how great the rest of this game is. The sequel's been in development for a few years, so hopefully we'll hear about that in the spring, although it's expected to be an Xbox console exclusive. So if you're a PlayStation player, you might want to go give the first game a download, try it out for yourself. Maybe Microsoft will change their tune, change their mind on making the sequel an exclusive, because it always sucks to see a multi-platform franchise get turned into an exclusive for no reason. Don't do it. Now we crack into the top 5. Apex Legends. It's been absolutely dominant in the world of Battle Royale. It stealth dropped in 2019, which was awesome, and it's a spinoff of the Titanfall universe. Rest in peace, Titanfall 3. It merges elements of the hero shooter and the Twitch FPS. It makes a super unique BR that plays unlike anything else in the genre. Pick your character. I mean, you have a diverse cast, each with their own unique abilities. Then, do your best to master the movement and the gun handling, because in Apex, fundamentals are everything. The movement's smooth. It encourages aggressive playstyles, while the longer time to kill gives you room to outsmart your enemies and get into lengthy back and forth duels with people, which those are really satisfying to win. As of the recording of this video, Apex Legends is arguably the most popular BR on the market right now, and that's likely not going to change anytime soon, so go give it a download. It's free. You have nothing to lose. At number 4, Hell Let Loose. Now, I admittedly don't know how populated this game is on the PS5, but if we're judging games solely on their gameplay experience, I'm going to say it deserves a spot. Developed by a smaller studio called Black Matter, Hell Let Loose is a multiplayer tactical FPS set in World War II with a heavy emphasis on realism, immersion, and teamwork. There's also a few RTS elements thrown in to keep things from devolving into two teams of people just running at each other. The game is gorgeous, and the gameplay, it looks tense, much more so than the most multiplayer shooters on the market today. If you're not a fan of intense multiplayer tactical shooters, this may not be your cup of tea. But if you like the super historical and gripping multiplayer experiences that really stress you out, you may want to go give this one a try. At number 3, Deathloop. A lot of people seem to hate this game. I'm on the fence. Developed by Arcane, published by Bethesda, it's basically a stylish FPS version of Groundhog's Day, which forces you to play through this long, meticulous level without dying a single time. You try to take down all the targets without getting hit. The art style is unique, the shooting feels good, the satisfaction of getting through an entire level in a single run is hard to compare to anything else. Yes, it's frustrating. It's one of the most unique FPS games on the market. Probably not a lot of people's cup of tea, but I could see where you would maybe like it. It's worth a shot, right? Especially now that it's been out for a while, you can pick it up pretty cheap. I mean, there's not much else to say about it. It's going to frustrate you, so don't die. At number 2, Metal Hellsinger. You heard me right. There's been an uptick in rhythm-based action games over the last few years, and one of the games that helped kick that trend into high gear was this one. Intense first-person shooter, basically Guitar Hero mixed with Doom 2016, and that's a collab I'm down for. You fight off thousands of demons, various weapons, all to the beat of a heavy metal soundtrack, and you get extra points and bonus damage based on how well you can match your actions to the beat of the song. That's just awesome. I mean, basically, if you weren't a fan of Doom's soundtrack, you should stay far away from Metal Hellsinger, but if you did like Doom and its music, you need to go download now. It's intense, it's fist-pumping, it's head-banging, it's honestly pure awesomeness in a video game, and it deserves to be here. But since we're on the topic of Doom, at number 1 today, the best PS5 FPS game available right now has to be Doom Eternal. Considered by many to be the best first-person shooter ever made, that's a big, big ticket. It's a masterpiece of single-player FPS gameplay, an intense challenge that everybody should try at least once. Of course, you play as the iconic Doomslayer, fight off a demonic invasion for the 42nd time, and use an expansive roster of weapons and abilities. Now, compared to the 2016 Doom Eternal features a heavier emphasis on movement and speed, meaning you can always push forward to take down enemies, and if you choose to sit behind cover for too long, you're going to be taking out. Let's just put it this way. They don't promote camping. Skill-based FPS through and through, and that's what makes it so satisfying. And did I mention that the soundtrack slaps? It does. Come on. Doom Eternal is awesome in every form and fashion. And if you ask me, it's the best FPS experience you can have on a PlayStation 5 right now. It's honestly really not even close. It isn't. So there you have it. Let me know one PlayStation 5 FPS game that did not make this list that you're saying, Jimmy, what are you thinking? Add it in the comment section. I'll give it a heart. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you soon.